This is a Dremel 465 set. I got this from Amazon. It comes with 4 attachments, 5 really. I'll just show you what they are. The circle and straight line cutter, the detailer's grip. The thing to note about the shaping platform is that this face on the top is at 90 degrees to the Dremel tool, and this plane here is 45 degrees where you've got Dremel indented there. The Flexshaft, and you need to be careful because you mustn't lose this attachment. It's actually in the box when you open it, and you need that in order to fix this onto the Dremel. This set also comes with the SpeedClic attachment, which is absolutely brilliant. It's really quick and easy to use. It's got 2 cutting discs with it. Inside this box are all the accessories: buffing heads, sanding drums, various shafts in there. There's a sharpening stone, drill bits, cutters, all sorts of bits and bobs. A couple of small bears for carving, polishing drums, that's polishing compound there. There's a whole lot of stuff in there. If you want to see what it comes with, you can actually look online, and just about every website that sells this set tells you what these accessories are. So looking at the tool itself, we've got a locking button there which locks the shaft so you can change attachments on the end there. We've got an on-off button and a variable speed button that goes from 5,000 RPM to 35,000 RPM. So 5, and it's easy to adjust the speed to 35. Very smooth. This attachment on the end has also got a built-in spanner there. So when you're changing collets and attachments, you don't need to use a spanner, you can use the head. And also in the kit we've got this. It's triangular in shape, and that just fits the hand nicely for doing more delicate work. Kind of like holding a pencil. So I'll just demonstrate attaching the tool. You need to lock the shaft, slacken off the collet, slide in the tool, tighten the collet. Now if you want it tighter than hand tight, slide this off, and then you can use that as a spanner to tighten it. And that's nice and tight now, so that's all ready to go. The shaping platform fits over the bit that you've got attached. Screw that on reasonably tightly. This slides over the top. You've got a depth gauge there, and you can slide that backwards and forwards and then clamp it there to keep it in position. You can place the 45-degree plane on there, drop it down, and chamfer the edges of the wood to 45 degrees. Now this is not particularly accurate, but if you were to actually clamp a piece of wood there or put a flat edge at the bottom, I reckon you could get a reasonably accurate chamfer with that. The fact of the matter is, though, if you move up and down, you're going to put dinks in the chamfer as you're using it. Then if you turn it around this way, you can go for 90 degrees by pressing the 90-degree edge against the side there. I think that's a little bit easier to use, but again, you know, if you're not careful, you're going to be taking big scallops out of it if you press too hard as you're moving along. But that is actually quite handy because you can't go past the grinding edge of the wheel. So you're always keeping the grinding edge of the wheel on the workpiece. You're not actually going past that and taking a gouge out. The detailer's work is to allow you to use the Dremel rather like a pen, I suppose, but give you a little bit more control. So I've attached the smallest bear that comes with the set. I've drawn a very rough flower on this piece of wood, and I'll just show you how it works. As you can see, that's not particularly neat. I've not used this before, so it takes a little bit of practice, I think, to get good with this type of thing, but you can see the potential there. Circle cutting attachment. I dare say I could do a better job than that, but that just shows you how it works. Actually, if you look at that, that's quite a nice disc. Just needs a bit of sanding. I'm just going to use a Dremel with a SpeedClic attachment and a metal cutting disc. What I'm going to do now is clean up the welds, and for that I'm just going to use a Dremel with a sanding drum. So again, I'll use a Dremel for cleaning up the pieces of steel, and to do that I'm going to use a Flexshaft, and in order to attach a Flexshaft you've got to screw this fitting onto the Dremel. Just screw that on there. I'm just going to put it on hand tight, and then the end of the Flexshaft slots over that hex fitting and you just screw it onto the machine. I've got this hanging off the ceiling to hang the machine on, which just makes life a little bit easier while you're using it. I'll transfer the collet across, and then I'm going to attach the sanding drum. That button locks the shaft. Make sure that the shaft's free to turn and we're ready to go. So I'm just going to clean these up now. And the last thing I want to show you is this. Now this is a lizard that I made. Well, the main shape of the lizard was cut out on a scroll saw, or you could use a coping saw for that. And then I actually used a bandsaw to cut this section out. So holding a wood like this, I cut round this section with the bandsaw to make the profile on the side there. And then everything else was finished with the sanding disc on the Dremel. It also comes with this tool holder that's got a cord wrap, so you can put the cord around and store it neatly. Then all of it goes inside this hard plastic case. Now personally I think there's an issue with the UK 3-pin plug, because that doesn't fit easily in the case, but it will go in there. And then all your bits and bobs, they just slot in there, and everything packs away nicely in the plastic case. Now I think this is a smashing set, and I've used it a lot before I filmed this. I used it for quite a few projects. You can't go wrong with the Dremel. They are really good quality tools and they really do a good job. Anyway, I hope you found this useful.